Hello and Merry Christmas. This is my C# Advent entry for December 25th. Please check out all the other C# Advent entries at csadvent.christmas. Yes, it's a real email address, and you can buy yourself a C# Advent mug as well while you're there. So today I want to walk you through actually something that came out of the C# Advent project, and that is CMSprinkle. It's a micro content management system that I built because I wanted a way to manage tiny bits of content on the C# Advent website. I didn't want to put in a full-blown CMS or even like a headless CMS or anything like that. Just a little, really low-friction, simple way to add content. So I want to walk you through how this works today. This is actually on NuGet now and GitHub, so I'll give you links to those. I'll put them right here on the screen right now. How's that? Okay. So I've got Visual Studio 2022 here. I'm going to create a brand new project. Now this is a micro-CMS. It's meant for ASP.NET Core web applications, so model view controller. It might work with other ASP.NET Core projects. I'm not sure. I haven't tested it with that. But if you're interested in that, give it a try. Put an issue on GitHub, and maybe we can add a pull request for that. Okay, so I'll go ahead and create a new project here. Yep, just web application 1. That's fine. Okay, .NET 8, again, I created this for .NET 8. It probably won't work with older versions of .NET as is, but if there's something you want, we could probably make some changes to the way that this is constructed and compiled to make it more compatible with older versions of .NET. Okay, so let's just keep on going, keep on trucking here. Visual Studio is a little slow today, so I might fast forward some parts of this video. Alright, so there's the web application. Let's give it a second for Visual Studio to get its act together here. Yeah, ignore that. Okay, so there's web application. This is a standard, like weather forecast, hello world, ASP.NET, file new. I'll go ahead and start this up and show you what it looks like in the browser. And there we go. Nothing much going on there. That's just the home page. Okay, so I want to add some tiny bit of content management to my system. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here to NuGet, and let's look for CMSprinkle. Okay, so I've got the main project, CMSprinkle. I need to go ahead and install that. A bunch of stuff. Yep, okay. Yep, look at all that stuff. Okay, great. And now I need to select a data provider for this, where the content's going to be stored, statefully, right? Some sort of persistence. So I've got a Couchbase one, of course, because C# Advent site's built with Couchbase. But I thought if I'm going to put this out there as an open source project, it's probably good to make it extensible. And then to demonstrate the extensibility, I created a SQL Server implementation as well. If you want another database or some other sort of persistence provider, create an issue on the GitHub project and say, hey, I want this. Or there's instructions for creating one yourself. It's not that challenging to do, but of course I'm willing to help if you really want a database or some other persistence included. Okay, so I'm going to add Couchbase here. That's what I'm prepared to demonstrate. Go ahead and install that one. Yep, all that good stuff. I accept. Okay, so now I've added CMSprinkle to my project. What do I have to do? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Views, Shared, and View Imports. Okay, so again, this was made for like Razor views and ASP.NET, so I'll go ahead and paste this here, add tag helper for CMSprinkle. If you're interested in getting content some other way besides tag helpers, again, create an issue on GitHub and say, hey, what if we just had a class or a service that provide this? And that's totally doable, but I just wanted it for a quick tag helper, so that's what I built. So let's go over to the homepage view there we showed earlier, and I'll just drop this in to show you how this works. There's the tag helper, CMSprinkle. You give it a content key. In this case, hello world. Now I haven't actually defined that anywhere in a database or anything like that just yet. This is just kind of, I can define them as I want to, put them into the tag helper like this. All right, now let's go to program and show you how to configure this. So this is, one thing you can do is you can say builder.services and add CMSprinkle, and that will be enough to add CMSprinkle to the project. We got to add a data provider still, but that's enough. You can also, there's some options, and again, I didn't really need these, but I thought, well, if I'm going to make it extensible, I may as well provide these. One thing you can do is you can say options.content-not-found message. So remember I defined that hello world key. It's not actually anywhere yet. So if I go and view that web page, it's going to give me an error message. There's a default error message, but I can actually customize that. So just give it a little lambda here. And I can say something like error can't find key, and then put content key in there. So that will give me the error message that I want. And if you don't want an error message, you could just have it completely blank. That's fine too. There's a default message, so I'm not going to need that. You can also say route prefix. And by default, the route prefix is CMSprinkle. If you want to change that to something else, you're welcome to, but I don't need to make that change just yet. The other thing you can do is, while we're here, oops, I need to put a semicolon there. Oh my goodness, what's happening? Okay. Okay, builder.services, and I can say add transient, and there's a CMSprinkle auth interface. Now you're going to cooperate. And I can specify my auth class here. And I can implement that class to provide authorization for the CMSprinkle, let's just say, management console. And by default, it's going to be anonymous access and local only, right? So very much inspired by kind of how Swashbuckle works. But I don't need that for now. So there we go. We're all set to go. The next thing I need is a data provider. So the way I do that is I can just say add CMSprinkle Couchbase and provide this information here. So I think example is my bucket name. Yep. And let's use the default scope and whatever. Let's just call this my great demo content. And so this is a collection in Couchbase, kind of like a table in relational world terms. I can set this to true. This is true by default. It'll create this collection. It won't create the scope and bucket. This should be example. But it will create the collection if it doesn't exist. You can also set that to false, so it won't create the collection, or won't even try to. That's going to be up to you. But I just have that, again, set to true by default, just kind of keep it low friction, easy going. That's all the configuration you need. So at this point, it should work. It'll store content in this collection, and it will give me a nice little management console to make those changes. So, whoops, I forgot one thing. So the way this works is I actually require Couchbase to be added. This is using the Couchbase dependency injection framework. So CMSprinkle doesn't actually do that. Notice I didn't pass in any credentials or anything like that. I just feel like this is the correct way to do it. I'm open to other options, but certainly the SQL Server one, you actually pass a connection string into directly. To add CMSprinkle SQL Server, you'd pass in a connection string. But this is how I'm doing it with Couchbase. One of the reasons I'm doing this is because Couchbase clusters are actually pretty expensive objects to initialize. So if I can get away with not having two different clusters objects to initialize, this is going to save some time, save some resources. So now it should work. Okay, where's the home page? Here it is. So it's loading up. Okay, so now notice there's a little message here, error content not found, hello world, because I haven't actually set up any content or told my database or anything about this hello world key. So let's go to the management console. It's CMSprinkle home, and again, if you want to change that route prefix, you can. But here's the console in all its very minimal glory. So the CSS here is all ChatGPT generated. It's a little bit responsive, so hopefully it'll work okay on a mobile device, which is kind of one of my use cases. But I'm certainly open to contributions to improving the markup for this. So let's go ahead and add some new content. I'll paste in that key here. Now notice that the content is a text area and it says Markdown. So if we click on that, we'll actually get the like a nice little Markdown editor here. So I'll just put some content in here, a few of those, and go ahead and add that. So that's hello world's now created. If I want to try that again, it'll actually give me an error message. I can just put whatever content in here, it'll say error message. So that is a unique key. So you can only have one content for that key. All right, go back to the home page, and there we go. There's the content that I added in the console there. It's showing up on the on the home page now because of that tag helper. So that's it. It's a very, very minimal micro CMS, I'm calling it. And the idea here is the use case is it's an existing ASP.NET website. You just want to manage a little bit of content, a few places sprinkled around your website, hence the name CMSprinkle. So that's what it's for. Now, if you're interested in using a very minimal CMS like this, but you're like, oh, I really need feature A, B, and C, go ahead and throw the issues into the GitHub repo. I'll put that link on the screen here one more time. If there's something else that you're like, well, I like this, but I really wish it had X, then I could use it. Let me know, and maybe we can add that feature. But the idea here is to keep it very minimal. It's not supposed to be a full-blown CMS. If you want to go in that direction, there are plenty of other CMSs out there, WordPress and Orchard and all kinds of stuff you could try before, trying to make this into that CMS. So this is meant to be very minimal. Appreciate you all checking out the C# Advent this year, 2023. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, that address is csadvent.christmas. Go ahead and check it out. There's 50 total entries on the site now. Great stuff on there. I hope you enjoy, and I hope you have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.